Hello and welcome to Rustic Recipes. Today I'm going to show you a technique that, according to one of my old recipe books, was introduced by Japanese immigrants in the 1800s. This technique involves not only coating the outside of the pork roast with cinnamon, but pushing the cinnamon deep into the center of the pork roast. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start by cutting up a few carrots. You can cut these any size or shape you want. I'm going with strips about 1.5 inches long. Now I'm going to cut up an onion. Half of the onion I'm going to dice, and the other half I'm going to slice. Now we need to take a couple of apples, core them, and then slice them into rings. Set all of these aside while we work on our pork. This pork roast is just over 2 pounds, and I'm going to coat the outside of it with 2 to 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. Then we're going to poke the cinnamon down into the middle of the roast. I'm using a chopstick for this, but you can use a skewer or anything else to work the cinnamon into the roast. Now we're going to layer our carrots into the bottom of a Dutch oven. Then on top of the carrots, I'll add our diced onions, and then the sliced onions. Now on top of the onions, I'll add a layer of the apple rings, but I'll reserve a few to put on top of the roast. Now the roast can go in on top of the apples, and I'll drizzle about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce around the roast onto the apples. And then another tablespoon of soy sauce on top of the roast. Then I'll top off the roast with the rest of the apple slices. Now, lid onto the Dutch oven and into a preheated 350-degree oven. Now that'll need to cook for an hour or so. Check the temperature of the meat, and once it hits 145 degrees, it's ready to come out. Let it sit and rest for 15 minutes or so before slicing it. Slice it into thin strips and plate it up with some of the carrots, onions, and apples. I'm also adding some of the pear relish that we made in a previous video. And there you go, a wonderful cinnamon pork roast. The cinnamon really does wonderful things to the pork. If you've enjoyed this recipe, please be sure to leave a like, and please subscribe for more rustic recipes.